Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Mandatory Post-Fight Live. Remember, if you like the content, you can always make sure to follow us on our social media channels. You'll see in the description below the ways that you can connect with us. Also, if you like the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, you can find us on the audio side as well. So leave a rate and review, give us a 5-star. And this is an interactive show, so make sure to drop some comments because we're going to be getting to all of your comments as well. And Brian, like, I don't even know where to start because it was a crazy, crazy weekend of boxing. Tonight was nuts. And like UFC was good too because it was Holloway and Dustin Poirier. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a heavy, heavy fight weekend, fight Saturday. I'm very into it. And I don't know where to start, man. Where should we start, Brian? Do we start with Manny Pacquiao because he just finished?
We have to. Pacquiao's absolutely the A block here.
Okay.
With Mario Barrios doing whatever that was.
Okay, let's get into it. By the way, drop your comments. We see our good friend in the building already. Marlon 2631, very good friend of the show, by the way. The judges robbed my goat. The man the man in his supposed prime struggled with the old man. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I had it 115, 113 Mario Barrios.
So did I.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. So I thought he did enough.
We have not talked about this.
No,
we have the same scores, and this happens kind of regularly.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll have different scores, but we'll keep in touch throughout fights and stuff.
However,
we text each other.
However, you're about to say however. I know you are.
Oh no, I don't know where I was even going with it. Sometimes I'm just talking. I don't even know where I'm going to end.
I'll throw this in. I thought probably until the last round, I'm like, they're gonna give this to Manny Pacquiao.
That's what I thought because they were in Vegas. I was like, Manny's gonna win. He has to.
And to be honest with you, you can make a real compelling case that he won that 7-5. It was another one of these fights where I'm like, 115, 113 in either direction, and a draw is probably the most fair. I had it Barrios winning 7-5 because I had him down and then I had him sweeping the last 3 rounds, as did all the judges. So I had it 5-4 Pacquiao at that stage. If you had it, and this also means 2 of the judges had it 6-3 for Pacquiao after 9 rounds and then gave it to Barrios.
I didn't though. I didn't because I remember when it was after round 10, I had it 95-95.
You're right. So you gave one of the last 2 rounds to. Oh no, you gave both of the last 2 rounds to Barrios. Well,
no, I'm going to tell you what I had like really quickly when it comes to after in the second half of the fight. I gave Pac-Man 7, 8, and 9. And then I gave Mario Barrios 10, 11, and 12. And where I think people may have had it different was like the first half of the fight. I gave Manny Pacquiao the first round. And then I gave Mario Barrios 2 and 3. I know a lot of people gave Manny Pacquiao the first 2 rounds. Okay, so this is wild.
3, and then I gave Pacquiao 4.
Yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so we have very similar scorecards here, which is wild because this doesn't happen. But I thought that Mario Barrios was like, all he had to do was work the jab, dude. Like, and Mario Barrios does have speed. He does. And he has a really nice right hand. And so during this fight, when Manny Pacquiao was doing Manny Pacquiao things and just throwing shots, like there's no punch power on those shots though. Right? Like let's be serious here.
No.
Right? There's no pop on it. But Barrios, like he had some pop, right? But he doesn't have like crazy power. But what?
Barrios was driving me insane.
Okay, what was he doing that you didn't like?
He would throw a flurry. And then he would just stop. He wouldn't build off of it, nothing. And then Pacquiao would be like, wait, you're not going to throw more punches? Okay, then I'm going to throw my flurry. And because I'm Manny Pacquiao, people are going to go much crazier for my flurry, regardless of me landing 1 of the 6, 2 of the 6, whatever punches. And for 46, Pacquiao did really well. I also thought Mario Barrios put in a shit performance. And this is what I was worried about when we were talking about the preview, where I'm like, look, Mario Barrios should beat the old guy who looked washed 4 years ago and is coming back after not boxing for 4 years, not having won in 6. However, it's also Mario Barrios, the worst champion in the welterweight division, with all due respect, because he seems like a very nice dude. And tonight, it was just like, even his corner was like, bro, go after him. Like, why
Yeah.
are you showing him so much respect? Stop respecting him. And then before round 12, they hug and practically kiss and are just like, all sportsman-like and whatever. And I know you do that before round 12, but literally before that, the coaches from Barrios' corner was like, stop showing him respect. Stop showing him fucking respect. They actually cursed with it.
Yeah.
He came out and hugged Manny Pacquiao before round 12.
And so that's the thing. Like, that's what I was thinking about during the fight. I was like, okay, like the fight started. We're like midway through. Why are you still showing him this much respect? Like, now you got to get it going, because at one point I'm like, oh, Manny won this round. Manny won this round. Like,
Right.
what is
And
going on
waiting.
here?
He was stealing the round with these flurries at the end.
Yes. Yeah. And he would have little spurts. Right, these little spurts, and he had like the Oscar de la Hoya crowd, right, where they're like, ooh, like here's the thing though.
Nailed it.
For Manny Pacquiao to be 46 years old and do that, impressive. Very impressive. Like, let's clap for him, right? Because
honestly,
because he did his thing. Like, let's give all the props in the world to Manny Pacquiao, because he looked terrible against Ugas, but he's 46 years old and he was moving around the ring more than Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios is 30 years old and he's supposed to be the stronger fighter. And Manny was just in there just like doing Manny things, man. Like, this is ridiculous. And so I'm okay with the draw, because like I think a lot of people had different scorecards. I think Manny fans will think Manny won. And if you're the chat,
they think he got robbed.
Chat, let us know how you had it. Drop your scorecards. I will say this though, Brian.
Yes.
They got to do the rematch.
They have to. I agree.
Yeah, they have to, right? Because
Can I tell you why? Because PBC sold this fight, and all of us were kind of like, "Oh God, we're gonna see an old man get his ass whooped. What's gonna happen?" I
was worried, dude. I was like, if I see Manny get like KO'd, like how we did in the past by Marquez, I'm gonna be upset. Like, I'm gonna be upset tonight. And then all of a sudden, I see Manny out there. Like, I'm like, is he gonna get Mario Barrios? I was like, this is not what I expected.
But here's why this needs to happen again. Because if you're PBC, you can now sell a rematch and be like, yo, Manny really could have gotten the first one. And whatever Manny fans went into this fight thinking he didn't have a chance, although I think a lot of them did, but I don't want to speak for all of them. And the Manny Pacquiao video on my channel like really went up a lot. But like, as this card was going on, I was like, holy shit. And it was just talking about whether or not this should be happening. And I think there should be a rematch. I'm putting this clip over there too. I think there should be a rematch, because PBC could sell this and be like, yo, we do this again. Pacquiao could legitimately win it this time. And more people will actually believe that Pacquiao could win it this time. And I also think odds-wise, so Barrios was like a big favorite before, and then a lot of money kept coming in on Manny Pacquiao, which someone noted in the comments of Victor Valdez. Thank you for that. That's true, because a good amount of people like were betting Pacquiao this week because it's Manny Pacquiao, and they were like, why not? Now I think when the fight opens up next time, I think Barrios will be favored, but by less. And I think a good amount of people will be like, yo, Pacquiao can do this. And if you're PBC, again, you need to sell a fight, because you're not doing much. We don't know if Gervonta Davis is going to be available to fight anytime soon now because of his legal situation. If you're PBC, you got to go to Amazon and be like, yo, we're going to run this back. Barrios said he'd do it. No shit, because he's going to make as much money as he ever has. This was probably a career high purse. The next one will be the next fight against Manny Pacquiao. And if you're Pacquiao, why not? You just went and fought a majority draw with the WBC champion. Like, it makes all the sense in the world to run this back before the end of the year.
And here's the thing. As Brian was saying, PBC can sell it, and I think Manny could win the second fight.
Right?
Like, I'm sitting here right now because listen, Manny's been doing this for an extremely long time. He has over 70 professional fights. He's way more experienced than Mario Barrios. That's why he was able to do what he did against a Mario Barrios that he gets hit a lot, doesn't fight to his full potential, in my opinion. That's why it's really frustrating watching Mario Barrios, because I think he's really talented and does a lot of things really well. I didn't like his game plan, because it's like, just work the jab, land the right. You were hitting Manny clean with the right hand a lot.
Yes,
go for it. Throw those flurries. Like, land your combos. You know what I mean? And it's like he has the skill set, and that's why it's really frustrating watching Mario Barrios. The best thing about Mario Barrios tonight was the two-tone Spurs hat he wore pre-fight, because it It was wavy. I saw it.
You could run a boxing fits page, honestly.
No, but did you see the two-tone? The spray, it was really nice.
I mean,
was like, I gotta get that.
I love what the Spurs, by the way, also have the best, other than the Heat Vice ones. Those are really good. The best city jerseys in the NBA when they do the Fiesta joints. Those are the best too.
Yeah, and they usually wear it during Fiesta in San Antonio. So I think that's kind of a super dope thing.
It's a barbecue jersey for sure.
By the way, like San Antonio fighters, we're gonna get into Bam Rodriguez in a moment, but this was one of those fights, Brian, where I'm like, I'm surprised. I'm okay with the draw. I'm okay with the outcome. I think it was disappointing for Mario Barrios, and I think he's kind of proven that, yeah, he is a very weak champion. Hate to say it. And you know, Brian, I've been defending Mario Barrios to you for how many years?
2+.
Like
maybe.
for a very long time, because I
was down on him when we started the show. Like
yeah.
He was gonna fight Ugas, I think, one of our early episodes, and I was like, bro, I like Ugas, but Ugas at that point didn't have it anymore, it appears. That's the other thing. Like Ugas beats the shit out of Manny Pacquiao 4 years ago. Barrios beats him, and it's like, okay, this boxing math and combat sports math doesn't always work this way, but you figured. And Pacquiao goes and nearly beats Mario Barrios. Go figure.
Yeah, you know what though? It's kind of one of those things where I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the rematch. I'm okay with that, because if Manny would have lost, I would have been up here like, I think we might get him and Mayweather a rematch. Because like that would make the most sense.
I'm ruling it out still.
No. This is what I will say though. It looks really bad on Mario Barrios, because I think if Manny Pacquiao was fighting Jerome Boots Ennis or Brian Norman Jr., we'd be having a different conversation right now. This would be exactly. He would not, right? So Manny purposely picked this, but here's the thing: like, if you're gonna, oh, Steven, we got to get to this comment. We got to get to this comment right here, because y'all know how I feel about the UK fighters. You guys know me too well. A good friend of the show, Steven. By the way, you had another good comment. I'll get to right after this. Shantelle, is Barrios Euro level? No, I think he'd beat a lot of Euro fighters. Is Foxy in here? I hope not. Steven.
I don't know about that either, though.
I think so. I would put my
onto something.
You know what, Steven? You throw in some Euro fighters, and I'll tell you if Mario Barrios would win. I think I'm a little bit higher on him than other people, but I think it's just like, this is the perfect comment. Barrios' jab gave Pac-Man trouble early. Don't know why he stopped. Pissed me off. Why are you not jabbing? Jab, jab, jab. That's all I would be saying in his corner.
Straight right hand also.
And that his right hand is his best punch. Right. So it's like, this is what annoys me about Mario Barrios, because it's like he falls asleep in a round or something like that. It's like, what are you doing? But he is really talented. Like, he's a really talented boxer, and I love his skill set. There's lulls during his fights, and that's what really annoys me.
Does Mario Barrios beat Jack Catterall?
Nah. Nah. Because Jack would give it his all. You know that. Okay, do I think...
he might be too... honestly, that would be a boring ass fight, because they'll just stare at each other waiting to counter the entire time.
Here's the thing, though. Like, thing about Jack Catterall is that, like, Mario Barrios should win that fight. Right? Like, he should win that fight. But I would just... Jack's crazy, man. Jack would win that fight. And so I've never been a Jack Catterall fan. And I'm saying that. So there's that.
I mean, Lewis Crocker is probably going to fight for the IBF welterweight title next against is it Donovan? Who is it? Actually, I do have the rankings, but which we're going to pull up. But I do think Lewis Crocker might beat Barrios if Barrios fights him like this.
Yikes. Clifton Dennis, very good friend of the show. Clifton, thanks for rocking with us. I don't know if we can call you Cliff or what, but just let us know. I don't know about Norman Jr., but Boots stoppage. Yeah, Boots, I don't think it'd go past 6.
I can't find the scorecards. Like, I want to see round by round how the judges scored it, but I'm not seeing them from...
TJ, good friend of the show, said, I had it 8-3 Manny.
What happened to the 12th round?
Yeah,
he probably stopped scoring. He was like, Manny got it.
Well, yeah, if you gave him 8 rounds, he's like, I got Manny winning this fight, right?
Yeah.
And he said right here earlier, he said, Manny won that fight. It's not even close. Okay. Like, and you know what? Some people may feel that way because...
Foxy from the top row.
I was wondering when Foxy would get it here.
Lewis Crocker will beat him, I think. Seriously. Josh Taylor currently? Nah, I don't know about that.
Does he beat Mario Barrios Josh Taylor? I don't know what Josh Taylor are we getting though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Josh Taylor's a little bit washed now, right? Like let's just keep it real.
Foxy, does Mario Barrios beat Eku Esumen? Answer in the comments. Let's pull up.
By the way, we should have Foxy be our UK correspondent. Because Foxy knows it all, and Foxy's a very good friend on the show, by the way.
And I love British title fights because they actually make them feel big in the UK. They do way better than the States do with the IBF USBA titles. Anyway, here are your rankings at the welterweight level. We have Mario Barrios still with the WBC title. Manny Pacquiao not ranked. We'll see where he's placed after this.
Top 5.
The WBC. No, seriously.
No, I'm being for real because look at 147.
No. You got to go harder. I think if I'm the WBC, I'm just putting him at number 1. Be like, fight again. Okay. Fight again. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm like, fight again. So Solomon Sissoko is gonna be like pissed or whatever. Like, just pay him some step aside money, and then eventually, you'll get to him. But honestly, like if Pacquiao beats Barrios, if they have a rematch, then Floyd's probably gonna be like,
By the way, I think Stanionis beats Mario Barrios. I like Stanionis.
Oh, good lord. I mean, if he's active, sure. I like Stanionis too. I thought he was a real champion, and then Boots was like, nope.
But I think that's how good Boots is. I don't think it's a knock on Stanionis. That's the thing. I think Boots is that good, and that's why he dominated in that fight.
Steven says, I'm gonna get some earlier comments after this. Actually,
Steven's on a roll tonight. Oh my god.
Barrios asked Manny to sign merch afterwards. Rob says Manny's spirit is incredible. Listen, man, he damn near won this. Marlon said earlier that he thought his GOAT being Manny got robbed. How many, if you're watching this, how many of y'all are Filipino, by the way? Want to know that out of curiosity. Filipinos pop the fuck out for this fight, as expected.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Listen, do the rematch. Do the rematch because man, you thought the crowd was loud for this one.
This is a good one. Tony Yayo, does Barrios beat Conor Benn?
No.
Yeah.
That's a fast no for me. That's an easy no for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Conor Benn's going to be a welterweight, though. Like, after...
Not anymore, no.
Maybe. He said he would fight Shakur at welterweight.
Oh, okay. Then maybe so. Here's the thing, and I want to ask you this. If you're Mario Barrios... I mean, you don't have to give Manny Pacquiao the rematch, but I mean, he would make a lot of money.
No, do it.
He should. Yeah, and he'd make a lot of money.
Yeah. Don't fight Solomon Sissoko instead.
No, that's not what I was going to say. I was not going to go that way. But if you're Mario Barrios and you're someone like, say, a Ryan Garcia, or you get what I'm trying to say here, right? If you're like a Ryan Garcia or a Teofimo Lopez who wants to come up to 147 pounds, like if I'm one of those guys, I'm taking a look at Mario Barrios right now, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
let me go get that, because I think
that's what PBC just did. That's what Pacquiao just did. They were like, they said Pacquiao's wife was like, fight Mario Barrios.
Oh my god, yeah. Even she knew Miss Pacquiao, Mrs.
Pacquiao. She saw the draw with Abel Ramos. Was like, this motherfucker's a champion. Baby, come out of retirement,
Yeah. No, she's a sweet lady though. They showed a video of her like feeding him after a fight, where he, like his eyes. Did you see that video?
Nah.
Anyways, there's good wives, and then there's some wives that are questionable, and I think Mrs. Pacquiao is a good wife. Give her the pass there.
Can you give us a questionable one? Or should
no, I'm not gonna diss nobody, but you see things like you see some things in the media, and you're like, I don't know about her.
It's fucked up. Yeah. I thought of one immediately, but I cannot say.
Can you tell me after?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go over to Foxy, our UK correspondent. Ben ideally wants to fight at 147. The Eubank Jr. fight looks off. Ben wants to win a world title. Barrios is his chance. Yeah, I mean, look at the rankings, right? Like it would kind of make sense, but I think you'd have to do that fight in the UK because it'd be bigger in the UK.
Unless, well, okay, let's go back to assuming there's a rematch. If Pacquiao wins, that fight is wherever Pacquiao feels like it.
Oh, okay, and yeah, you're right, yeah.
Also, I wouldn't want to fight Conor Benn if I'm Manny Pacquiao, but if
you know how big that fight would be? If Manny Pacquiao was to fight Conor Benn,
it'll be wherever it is.
Yeah.
Filipinos and people from the UK it's going to be one of the loudest boxing crowds of whatever year that would take place.
Yeah.
See Mario Barrios. This is what happens. This is what happens when you do what you did and abandon your jab and just kind of show Manny Pacquiao way too much respect, because now we have to entertain all the possibilities that you have outlined because you couldn't beat 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, who was giving you the fight. Like
Yeah.
he was waiting out these rounds, just doing just enough, and then last like 30, 40 seconds, like, all right, now I got to go take this round for Barrios. And it worked.
And here's the thing, like, there was a comment up here. Let me try to find it because okay, here it is from Steven, who's left some great comments. Pac's conditioning surprised me the most, and this was the thing. I didn't know how his conditioning would look later into the rounds, but that's the thing. He was fighting in little spurts and would have these flurries near the end of the round, which obviously didn't take a lot of energy out of him, and he was winning rounds that way. And it was very smart, and that comes with experience and his high IQ. So it's very, very interesting. And we're both thinking he should definitely take the rematch. Both of them should, because I think it's good for both of them. But Bryan, very interesting. I don't have anything else to say about it. Do you have any final thoughts before we move on?
No, I think this should happen again. If both of them could do it by the end of the year, I think that'd be interesting. And PBC could put some of these same guys on the card. Like I thought, we won't talk at length about this. We should talk about Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora quickly, though, before, because it's on the same card, before we get into some of the other stuff, because we will talk about Usyk, we will talk about Bam Rodriguez.
Yes.
But I thought Joet Gonzalez got robbed.
Yeah, I did too.
Against Brandon Figueroa, and we're not alone in that. A lot of people did. I thought he banked enough rounds early on and probably won 8 rounds to 4-ish.
Landed the cleaner shots as well, the heavier shots, the power punches. I think he looked better than Brandon Figueroa, but I think I know why Brandon Figueroa won. I'll just say he has a bigger fan base, and
Boxing politics,
yeah, and so he could probably sell a bigger fight at 126 pounds. Meanwhile, Joet Gonzalez, he's been in these situations before where he's like a really, really good fighter. He's a tough fighter, and then he'll lose in the title fight. Like we've seen that happen to Joet Gonzalez, right? But he gave Brandon Figueroa work. I feel bad for a guy like Joet Gonzalez for that. That sucks, because he should have won that fight. Shouldn't have been Brandon Figueroa. When Brandon Figueroa won and I heard the scorecards, I was like, what is going on here? It's not how I had it scored.
And real quick, what do we make of Isaac Cruz and his performance? He fought a real dude. Omar Salcido knocked out Chris Colbert on a Pro Box TV card. Also fought, I'm pulling it up now, Andy Cruz earlier this year. That's who it was. And he took this fight on 24 hours notice and not in his natural weight class. Isaac Cruz won seemingly every round.
Yeah.
But, took it to the cards.
I think he fought a good fighter, but I don't think we saw anything different from Isaac Cruz. It was just like Isaac Cruz just dominating and doing what he does best, right? Which is he's controlling the pace of it. He's coming forward. He's landing shots, some very heavy shots, and he just did his thing. Like, I don't have much to say about it other than who else is he going to fight at 140 pounds?
Well,
Subriel Matias?
He inexplicably, for some reason, has a WBC interim title at this weight. Subriel Matias, though, is going to fight Dalton Smith, as we know, because Turk, we might mention him later, because he had a doozy on Twitter today, demanded that he fight Dalton Smith next. So maybe Isaac Cruz and Subriel Matias could happen next year, but I don't know, because we're Dalton Smith and then Puello's supposed to get another shot. Maybe Puello fights Isaac Cruz. He's done work with PBC in the past, obviously.
Yo, they were like the Puerto Rican fans were giving me so much heat on YouTube because I said I thought Puello won, but I wasn't alone.
They were
like they were just
stop doing that, yo. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't make us look bad out here. Like
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I was like, come on, man. There were some people that thought that Puello won that fight. Like, it wasn't just me. I wasn't saying that Puello dominated. I thought it was a close fight. But anyways, nonetheless, Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith's going to happen. But Isaac Cruz, I think there's some interesting fights for him at 140 pounds. I actually think what would be a moneymaker, but I don't think he'll take it because apparently he's moving up to 147 pounds. Like, I think Teofimo Lopez and Pitbull Cruz would be a good fight.
I agree, and they should do it. Who's Teofimo Lopez going to fight at welterweight?
You know what's wild though?
Like,
Yeah, Isaac Cruz, like just in terms of fan base, he's the A side.
oh, you know what? Teofimo Lopez will fight Brian Norman Jr. Assuming he
That
would,
yeah,
or the Devin Haney Brian Norman Jr. winner, if that fight happens now, because apparently
it's not happening. Beta
Bill
testing.
Bill Haney is like, why, start testing? Why are you waiting till August 1st to test? Why don't you start testing now? Which, to be fair, I mean, I don't think that's crazy. Like, why? What's the wait for?
Yeah, but
Like,
at the same time, like I don't think Bill Haney should be the one like navigating and pulling all those stunts. Like, we need to test him now. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, but
Like, just be a dad and be his trainer.
Oh,
Boxing, the boxing will handle it.
Bill
like,
Haney
you know
don't
what I
do
mean?
that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But it's like that's like the annoying thing about it, right? So it's like I don't understand. Like, it's just like he's doing too much, in my opinion. Bill Haney.
Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora.
Can I say something?
Please.
Fundora's finally fighting like how I've always wanted him to fight.
He's getting better. He's
Yeah.
getting better.
And I love it. And because very early on he loved to box on the inside. And now the way that he's boxing, this is how I wanted Sebastian Fundora to actually box. And he looks great. The size is there. You know, you got a little bit of pop on the punches as well. He's getting to the body. He's starting nice combos. He's moving around the ring. Like, I'm like, whoa. Okay, I see this. And like his dad's doing a great job with him. Like, he looked great. And before, I'm not gonna lie, I used to hate on Sebastian Fundora a little bit. I used to make fun of him and stuff because I didn't like the way that he fought, which was wrong of me because now he's just like even Tszyu was like, yeah, this guy's tough. Like, he's a very tough boxer.
He quit.
And he's tough. Yeah, he was like, no mas.
Oh. Tszyu's got 3 losses now, and he's 30. One thing that struck me about Tszyu after he beat Joey Spencer, so this was a while ago, was he, after the fight, said something in the ring. Like, they just, interview. They asked him a question, and he, they asked him about carrying on his father's legacy. Didn't his dad go to that fight? I think Kostya went to that fight. And it was, they reconnect, whatever. Like, it was this whole story they were telling. And I remember this part well, where they asked him about that, and he talked about continuing on the legacy and maybe his kids will, whatever. And his wife was like, no, and like shaking her head, which tells you a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't think his wife is crazy about him doing this, and it's probably the style that he fights. And Tszyu was always somebody where I was like, I think there's a cap on this, because again, like with me, at this style, you have to be really, really good at it. It's almost like the shooting guard in the NBA who doesn't play a ton of defense. In order for you to really be effective, you have to be an efficiency monster. Otherwise, you're Tyler Hero. Like, yeah. That's ultimately what it is. Like, you have to be an efficiency fucking monster. And like in this sport, Tszyu is not somebody who's revered for his defense. He's going to fight fire with fire every time. And there's a cap on that. And Sebastian Fundora, he's getting better at using his reach, which is scary, because if this is the case now, not to fantasy book future fights, but like, Xander Zayas is fighting for a title this coming week in a fight against Jorge Garcia Perez, who beat Charles Conwell in an upset earlier this year. And Terrence Crawford don't think he's going to be long for this division. He's got a title, and he's obviously going to move up and fight Canelo Alvarez. Bakram Murtazayev versus Sebastian Fundora is a very interesting hypothetical. We'll see where Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas fall into that mix. But if Sebastian Fundora is this gets real interesting in this division. Real interesting.
He's 27 years old, so I feel like he's probably grown into his power. I don't think he gets any stronger than this. But yeah, if he continues to use his reach and get better using his reach, he's going to cause some problems for sure. I will say this, that I think there could be some very, very good fights. I mean, I'm going to keep it real. I would love to see Sebastian Fundora and Virgil Ortiz. And I would listen, that's a tough fight. Like, especially if Sebastian is fighting like how he is now, but I'm taking Virgil, just saying that. I'm a bigger Virgil fan. I think I've said that on this show many times. Let's get to some comments really quick, Brian. Steven says Fundora actually fought tall, but he fatigued pretty early. It's interesting.
He was catching some bombs too from Tszyu. Like that was a surprising thing
Yeah.
also, Shantelle. Like when they stopped the fight, or when Tszyu was like no mas, I thought he was actually kind of like starting to do well, and I was like, oh, this might turn.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't happen.
He got into a little bit of a rhythm, but I'll say this much: when Sebastian Fundora throws his right hook, he leaves himself completely open. So if Tszyu had a little bit more footwork and a little bit more head movement, it's like use your footwork, use your head movement, and land an uppercut. He's leaving himself wide open. Like they're not like tight shots that Sebastian Fundora is throwing. Like sometimes they're just like very wide left hooks, very wide right hooks, and I'm just like, if I'm always gonna be the shorter fighter. I'm just like, I'm gonna use my footwork there. I'm gonna get on the inside and land an uppercut. I might take a shot, and Tszyu took some shots, but it's like there are still flaws to Fundora's boxing. There are, and so he's beatable. It's not like he's not beatable.
Yeah,
I just don't think that. I think we know what Tszyu is now. That's what I'll say. I think we
knew before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I you know what? I said in the first fight, if Tszyu didn't have that cut, that nasty gash that happened, that he probably would have won. I don't know. I think Fundora's fought really well, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. And he seems like a really nice guy too. Like in his like post game interviews, like he seems very humble. So you kind of like the guy and want to root for him. And he's not really pissing me off anymore with the way that he fights. I just think that there's flaws. Like there's definite flaws. And I just wish Tszyu had more head movement. Like you gotta, yeah. Like, well, that's the thing. Like, it's like you gotta move. You gotta have some lateral movement when you fight Sebastian Fundora, and you gotta move your head.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what you have to do. So it's like you're okay. Like he's throwing these, right hooks and these left hooks, and like he's leaving himself wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Land the uppercut. Like get in there, land the uppercut. You might take the shot, but just land the uppercut. It's there for you. I don't know. That's what I saw.
Well, I still think to go back a little bit, I still think Tszyu would have won the first fight, because if you remember, that first fight was a split decision, and Tszyu was undefeated at the time, so he hadn't fought Murtazayev yet. And that was a fight where going in, it was like, oh, okay, like he's picking out this dude. This is probably going to be tougher than he thinks. And he tried to just go balls to the wall and just brawl him, and he paid for it. And that kind of changed him. His only win in his last 4 fights is Joey Spencer. Typically, when you get to this point in your career, it's not going to go too well. I'm sure he could still, sell well in a venue in Australia in his next fight, in a comeback fight. He probably needs a couple of those before he can get back to this level in a serious way. But to your point about Sebastian Fundora, I do think he's gotten better, and it makes things more interesting. That being said, all the guys that we talked about, I mean, I would still probably favor at least a little bit all of them to be Sebastian Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, Terrence Crawford, we're not even going to mention. Maybe even Yoenis Tellez, who looks pretty good. Bakram Murtazayev, Xander Zayas, assuming he beats Jorge Garcia Perez. Like, all of those dudes could be Sebastian Fundora, because we've seen Sebastian Fundora pay for this already. And to your point, he was taking a lot of shots today. Like, he was taking a lot of shots tonight, and looked like he was going to fall on any one of those at one point. But ultimately, like, his chin held up. His chin didn't hold up against Brian Mendoza, and it didn't hold up in a great way against Erickson Lubin, which was a fun back and forth fight. By the way, Erickson Lubin's another guy that if they have a rematch, and I think that's a rematch you can sell, like Erickson Lubin could beat Sebastian Fundora right now. But I think this division is fun because
I knew you were going to say Erickson Lubin when I was like taking a look at the list. I'm like,
he's Lubin's legit.
He has experience, like,
and he's kind of chinny as well. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
This division, I don't think, and a lot of people would say like Virgil Ortiz is this and Boots Ennis is this. I don't think there's a clear number one. I think talent wise, Boots maybe, but we haven't even seen him at this weight yet. And honestly, Emantas Stanionis is his best win. And while we both think Stanionis is good, he also fought twice in 3 years leading up to that fight. So, like, I do want to see Boots against, like, top flight competition as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Boots out of the conversation because we haven't seen him at 154 pounds.
Yeah, fair.
So I'm not even going to talk about him in this division until we see him in this division. I think ceiling-wise, yeah, like Boots has all the talent. I've talked about Boots enough. I think Bud would obviously be the best in this division, but he's moving up.
Yeah, he's done.
Well, he's moving up. He's fighting Canelo, right? So let's take him out of the conversation. We know how great he is. I still pick Vergil Ortiz over Sebastian Fundora. I think he would be the best in this division to me. If I had to take out everybody else, like I'm picking Vergil over Sebastian Fundora any day. Vergil has power. He has a high work rate. He's going to get hit a lot, and he might get dropped, but he'll figure it out. He makes mistakes, but that's what I love about Vergil, and he's exciting. I think Vergil Ortiz, if we take Boots out, not even have him in the conversation, and Bud is doing Canelo things, Vergil Ortiz would be my guy in this division.
It's probably him or Murtazayev. The problem is, for whatever reason, Murtazayev can't get a fight. Like we're approaching a year. It's been 9 months since his last fight. We don't know what his next fight's going to be. And I forget the outlet, if it was Boxing Scene or one of the other ones, that ran a story recently about like how he just can't get a fight right now.
I think Murtazayev, for him, I don't know if a lot of people want to fight him because it's a scary fight.
He's a boogeyman. He's not marketable. Yes. He's not from like, I want to say he's Russian. Yeah. Even though he lives in California.
It's wild though. Murtazayev. And you guys heard me just talk about Vergil Ortiz, but I think Murtazayev could probably beat Fundora and Vergil Ortiz.
Maybe, but I can see why nobody wants to fight him.
Yeah, I think we need more of a sample size. That's what I think we need from him. But so far from what we've seen, he'd be my second favorite in this division. No disrespect to Sebastian Fundora. I just still think there's some flaws.
And this is a division we'll probably talk about again next week or the week after, because Xander Zayas is fighting. And it's not a given that he's going to win this fight. Like Jorge Garcia's, he's tough. He's tough. This is going to be a tough fight for him. Xander Zayas is the favorite, should be the favorite. It's not a given. And we'll see how he looks, because now this is, to this date, to this point, his ultimate test. And I think it'll be a legitimately good win. Like a good win, because a lot of people thought, and they probably backtrack now, but a lot of people thought Charles Conwell was the boogeyman in this division. And he lost to Jorge Garcia. So if you beat the guy that beats the boogeyman in your first title fight, like that's a legitimate win, and you're a champion at that point. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing. I think even if Xander Zayas wins, people are going to be like, well, who has he fought? Well, Jorge Garcia is a tough fight. But I think the issue is that no matter how Xander performs in this fight, he's going to get criticized because of all the pressure around him. If he doesn't get the stoppage, and Jorge Garcia is a tough fight, by the way, people are going to be like, oh, he should have got the stoppage. And then there's going to be that. And then people are going to be like, well, who has he fought when we start comparing him? So I think for Xander Zayas, a lot of the conversations are so unfair to him. But he has all the tools and skills to be very, very good. Personally, I would love to see him against Vergil Ortiz. He needs to be in a big fight. He needs to be in a big fight after this fight. He needs a big name, like a name that can resonate. Maybe a Tszyu.
The thing is, I think the WBO is going to make him fight Josh Kelly, because that's already been rumored before. And Josh Kelly, as you can see here, is number 3. Like I think they're going to put him in some fight like that, and Top Rank will probably do that first. Xander Zayas, by the way, he turns 23 in September. So young. So I also think Top Rank is kind of like, yo, like we'll get you to Vergil, but maybe in like 2027 or something along those lines. Let Vergil have a few more wars. Like I could see them managing him that way. Do I think he's ready for them right now? I think the Jorge Garcia fight will tell us a lot. If he wins a one-sided unanimous decision and he wins damn near every round, I think that's going to say a lot, given that the fight with Charles Conwell, while Garcia won, it was close. It was legitimately very close.
I'll say this, though. Say if he does beat Jorge Garcia, and he does it, and he dominates. Let's just say. I don't know if that happens because it's a tough fight. If he was to fight Tszyu, because Tszyu just lost, then there's a pathway to Sebastian Fundora. Because we don't really know what Fundora is going to do next. Right? There's talk, is he going to fight Spence? And then the fight with Spence doesn't happen. Right? So it's like there is an actual pathway for Xander Zayas. And obviously it's like, the WBC and the WBO, whatever. But I think there's a pathway. And Ryan Hong, good friend of the show, we haven't seen you for a minute, Ryan, says, Tszyu is done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Do you think he's going to keep on boxing? I think he might. I think he might.
Might be a minute, though. At Fundora, I could see him fighting because like I'm thinking of who's another PBC guy. So okay, let's say Pacquiao Barrios 2 happens in November, December. I could see the co-feature being Sebastian Fundora versus Jesus Ramos, for example. Ramos is ranked number 2 by the WBC. I think that's a pretty good fight. I think Ramos is like, I mean, a lot of people thought he got robbed against Erickson Lubin. So there's a strong case that Jesus Ramos right now could still be undefeated. I think Sebastian Fundora, by the way, against Jesus Ramos would not be a given either. I think Ramos could potentially win that. So I could see, like, I would do that. I would do Pacquiao Barrios 2. I would have the co-main event be Fundora versus Jesus Ramos. And in that fight, while Fundora probably will be the favorite, I'm like, Ramos, like, low-key probably should have beaten Lubin. And, you know, Ramos is good. He's tough.
No, I agree with that. All right. I think we should move on, though, Brian, because we got a lot to get to. I don't have anything else to say about this. If you do, drop your comments. Let us know what you think about Sebastian Fundora and who he should fight next. Also, what you think should happen to Tszyu in terms of if he should still continue to fight, if he should hang it up, or if he should maybe take a little bit of a break before he gets back in the ring. All right. So where do you want to go to next? Because I think we should go to Bam Rodriguez.
Sure.
Let's save the best for last. So let's go over to Bam Rodriguez, who fought Cafu. And this was a fight where Cafu was keeping him busy in a sense that he wasn't like distinctively winning rounds against Bam, but he was giving Bam some good work. And Bam ended up getting the stoppage in the later rounds, by the way, if you weren't able to see that fight. I hate when they do these cards at the same time and I'm like watching 2 fights at once. It's the worst.
Literally, Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora was happening the same time Bam Rodriguez and Phumelele Cafu were fighting. And the stoppages happened within maybe a minute of each other. Both stoppages were kind of like, wait, what just happened? Like they weren't like super obvious. Cafu, I thought, brought it in terms of his effort, but he was just outclassed. I think he won maybe 2 rounds. Bam Rodriguez is really fucking good, and he has a big fight coming in November. And Bam's a pound for pound guy. Like we both had him in our pound for pound top 10. I think a lot of people would at this point. He's unified. He's, I think, the best guy in the weight class, but we'll see. He's going to fight the other best guy in the weight class, Fernando Martinez, in November. But Bam's great. He's awesome. He's one of the best watches, like one of the best guys to watch in the sport. And at least arguably the best athlete that goes by Bam in pro sports.
Yeah, I mean, let's go to our good friend, Captain 007. I liked Bam's patience. Yeah, like Bam was very patient during this fight. And I think a lot of people thought that he would get Cafu out earlier, like in the earlier rounds, and that didn't happen. So he continued to be patient and he fought his fight, right? Like he fought his fight. He stuck to his game plan. And Bam is a very tough fight because you know that he's going to give you a high work rate. You know, he's going to land a lot of heavy punches on you as well. Because Bam does have he's got pop, right? I mean, he got the stoppage. And I think the work rate for a lot of fighters in that division from Bam is a lot. Now, he's going to be taking on Martinez next. That's the big fight. But I think Bam beats him. It's not going to be a layup for him. But I think Bam beats him. I think it's going to be a very, very good fight. And then it's like, who does Bam take on next? Is it Chocolatito? Pull up the rankings, Brian. Pull them up. It's time.
I don't want to go too far ahead with matchmaking because we'll be pulling.
Hey, I'm going to be Turk. Come here. You're going to fight. Like, I'm going to be Turk in this moment and just go like way past. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful here because, you know, that's not a given. Bam beats Fernando Martinez because he's a really good fighter. I think that's going to be one of the most entertaining bouts this year. I'll say that. Telling you right now, that might be fight of the year.
Probably. It's going to be a contender. We'll see. I think if I'm pulling for Bam, if I'm somebody who's betting on Bam, I don't want it to be a fight of the year contender because I just want him to box well and whoop somebody's ass. But Martinez is going to bring it, man.
You know what? It's one of those things, man, where either Bam's going to like dominate and surprise us even more. He's already on the pound for pound list. Or Fernando Martinez, because Fernando Martinez is a crafty fighter, dude.
Yeah.
And he throws a lot of punches as well. This is like the best weight. These are the best weight classes, by the way. I will say this, that this could be a war. These are two of the best at 115 pounds. This could be an absolute war. And I think it'll tell us a lot about Bam Rodriguez. And if we're already looking forward to that fight, saying it right now, I think it could be fight of the year. And if Bam comes out of that on top, which I feel like he should, we might be moving him up to number 4 or something on the pound for pound list.
You want this man to be his next opponent.
I do, but only because I'm the biggest Chocolatito fan. Like, right, this is like he's one of my favorite fighters of all time, and then Bam is like my favorite fighter right now.
They mentioned on the broadcast that he has a fight coming up, I think, in Nicaragua.
I love it.
Which randomly is where the FIBA AmeriCup will take place in a month. I'll be covering that on my channel. But like, he's gonna fight, and presumably, I mean, if he's number 1 ranked now, he's probably just gonna like take another fight after, maybe that he should win and just kind of sit on the ranking, unless the WBO orders like an eliminator, like him against Francisco Rodriguez Jr. And it's like, all right, the winner is going to be the mandatory for Bam, something like that. The Bam Martinez winner. Like, I do hope we have a pathway to doing that. I know Chocolatito's older now, but
well, that's the thing. It's like I would want that fight to be early next year, because
Bam's fighting in November.
Yeah, I know. So early next year, like March or something like that.
Okay.
March. So early next year, because Chocolatito's getting too old, right? And I don't want to be watching this fight and not seeing like the Chocolatito that I'm used to seeing. Obviously, he's a little bit older, but Chocolatito can fight. And then it's like, if you're Bam, if you have El Gallo and Chocolatito on your resume, like that's wild. But I don't know, like if Chocolatito, I gotta watch his next fight. I gotta see what's up. I don't know.
The way,
that's the fight I want to see, though.
By the way, also Sonny Edwards, which is I think a really good win, given that was undefeated versus undefeated. That was his first unification. I want to say was his first unification. And I think for some people that was even the introduction to him to some extent. We obviously have been talking about him before that, but I think for a lot of people, your introduction to Bam might have been either the Sonny Edwards fight or maybe the Carlos Cuadras fight going back. That was his first title. It's funny. Cuadras is actually number 1 contender for the WBC, so maybe there's a rematch in the future. I'd much rather see him fight Chocolatito. Yeah. Chocolatito is 38 years old. With that fight style, but also is 56 fights into his career, and the 57th one apparently is coming up. He's also just 2-2 for his last 4. But I mean, this would be like a type of torch passing thing that I think a lot of boxing fans will want. To your point, we've seen these before. You know what I mean? This is it's not a 1-of-1 comparison because I'm just doing off the top of my head, but like Mayweather Mosley felt like not a torch passing like Mosley was like the guy previously, but you know, one of the best of his time. And shit, the first 2 rounds of that fight were really
even like when, and I think at this point, like Oscar wasn't Oscar, but even when Oscar fought Mayweather,
you could say Oscar and Pacquiao too.
Yeah,
Klitschko Fury also, or Klitschko Joshua.
Yeah, I would say Klitschko Joshua, because I think that was a stunner, right? I think that one really gave Joshua that cachet behind his name. That was the one. So this is the fight that I think most boxing fans would want to see, because if we're not going to get Bam moving up and fighting Nakatani,
well, that's the other thing.
That's the one. That's another one that we want, which I think is actually something that we'll get eventually, maybe in like a couple of years. What do you think, Brian?
But I still think it's more likely we get Nakatani Inoue first.
That's wild, really? Okay, that's I hope so.
I think, because like what else is Inoue gonna do? Like let's back up, because Inoue has all the belts. He's finally fighting Akhmadaliev. Blah 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 blah. And to be honest with you, like I think a lot of people are very excited. They're like, "Yay, he's finally gonna fight Akhmadaliev," and I'm like, he's gonna beat Akhmadaliev also. But I mean, we saw his last fight, so Inoue's had a couple doozies as of late. But I mean, what else are you doing if you're Inoue, assuming you win this? Like, there was a scheduled fight before against Picasso, who we just saw on this card. Were you inspired by that performance? Did you watch that and was like, yeah, Picasso could take Inoue?
No,
I
but
didn't
at the
come away
same,
from that fight saying that shit.
no, not at all. I'll say this though. I think when whoever Inoue fights, I'm watching.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not missing an Inoue fight, but I always thought that, yeah, I mean, like that's a massive fight. That they'll do that fight in Japan, Nakatani and
Tokyo Dome.
yeah, the
Easy.
Tokyo Dome, Nakatani and Inoue. That's one of the biggest fights of this generation. I feel that's a huge fight. I just don't know when we're gonna get it because you are also asking Nakatani to come up, then, right? Like you're asking him to come up because he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to.
The other thing is, so Sam Goodman was linked to a fight with Inoue before, but Sam Goodman's fighting my guy Nick Ball next month. So doesn't even look like Sam Goodman is going to be a factor in this division because he's moving up to featherweight to face Nick Ball, who's the pound for pound number one boxer in the world right now.
Can you believe it? Like, go up in the rankings a little bit because I don't think. Here's the thing. I think it would be smart for Inoue to fight Nakatani, and I think that's the fight that we all want to see as boxing fans.
Here's featherweight.
Because it's like, here's the thing. When is Inoue going to cap out? He could move up. He could move up in a weight class and maybe have his rematch again with Stephen Fulton.
No, I don't want to see that.
But does he want to fight?
Does he want to fight? Says he's better at featherweight or whatever. I'm cool. I want to see. You know what's the featherweight that I want to see Inoue fight?
Rafael Espinoza?
No, Nick Ball.
Okay. Okay, because I think for me, Rafael Espinoza is my favorite fighter in this weight class at 126.
I get it. Nick Ball is my favorite fighter because, and that, honestly,
that's why they should fight. You know what? They should fight. That'd be a crazy fight.
It'll be like Rey Mysterio against the Big Show. That's what it'll be like. I want to see Nick Ball versus Rafael Espinoza. No, Nick Ball, if he beats Sam Goodman, legitimately, you could sell me Inoue moves up and fights Nick Ball. Unless, of course, he fights Nakatani first. Because Inoue and Nick Ball have tweeted back and forth and like practically agreed to fighting each other at some point. Not next, but, and that's a fight that's fun too because Inoue, he'd be willing to brawl even when he shouldn't. And Nick Ball's going to bring it because he knows no other way, honestly. So, but going back to down to Bam Rodriguez versus Nick Ball in 2030 would be fun. Bam Rodriguez versus Chocolatito will be interesting, but I we got to see him fight Fernando Martinez. But he did what he was supposed to do. Like Bam delivers. He's in the top 5 in this sport of like just he gives you your money's worth pretty much every single time. Like he's him in a way. Oleksandr Usyk, who we're about to talk about. And we've taken too long to get to, quite frankly. Like, these are the guys who, like, always give you your money's worth every single time.
Wait, one more.
Bam's in that list.
One more thing before we get up and out of here. I'm not up and out of here, guys. We're going to talk about Usyk, obviously. But Diego Pacheco also won. He beat Trevor McCumbee.
Oh, right. That fight.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't like a
lot of people were pissed off about Diego Pacheco on social.
Yeah,
I think that he just kind of mailed it in. I kind
of agree.
I mean, it's a good fight if you just want to win. You use your jab and pretty much only your jab, and you played the distance game against Trevor McCumbee, who's a bit of a wild card and things. But it coming off of a stretch where like Hamza Shiraz does that to Berlanga, and Sulecki gets destroyed by Christian Mbili in a round right before that. Like Christian Mbili and Hamza Shiraz made statements in your weight class, and you didn't make one. And you had a guy in Trevor McCumbee that got stopped by Caleb Plant, who just lost to Resendez, and like you could have made a statement tonight. And I thought he won that fight, but easily, obviously. And I didn't think McCumbee. Like part of this is also McCumbee didn't want to commit, but like, come on, bro, you got power.
Pacheco won every round of that fight.
Yeah,
like he didn't have like this crazy stoppage or knockout, but he won every round. So it's like,
But it's
what
not like when Xander Zayas wins every round because Xander Zayas is not standing in front of his opponent and just jabbing and just keep playing keep away. Because Xander would just throw a bunch of punches. People get annoyed because like he's not always hurting his opponent with all these punches, or even if he
yeah.
is, he's not dropping them. Like Diego Pacheco wasn't even doing that. It's like
I'll
throw
say this.
punches.
I'll say that if that was like a dull performance by Pacheco, he still won every round. I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't give too much of like this crazy effort, that I think he knew he was going to beat Trevor McCumbee, and he kind of just coasted in that fight. And if
Yeah.
that's the worst that we could say about him, hey, I'm okay with it. You know, I don't have any complaints. I don't have any complaints. Of
I
course,
just
a
think
good stoppage would have been nice, but
Yeah, I just think if you're Hamza Shiraz, I mean, if you're in a division with Shiraz and Billy, you can't look at what they did and not go out and get Trevor McCumbee, who just got stopped like a year ago, maybe.
yeah,
Looking at this weight class, I don't know what the fuck is going on with boxing scene, but like Canelo Alvarez is like really the champion in this weight class, where his name is just all over the fucking place. If you see this, he's like the double champion in every weight class because boxing scene is some sort of issue. Fix your site, guys, because I like what y'all do. But this just looks ugly, so we're gonna just go
are
out
you
here.
trying to get a job with the
But
post
yeah,
office?
fucking no,
There's like this random ad now hiring. That's a
no.
legit job though. Isn't that a government job there? It's a government job here in Canada,
They're
working for the
killing
post
they're
office.
killing government jobs here because
Okay.
this administration. Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right, so let's get to Foxy.
so super middleweight, real quick. No doubt, Shiraz watching Pacheco fight like easy work. I mean, I think the interesting thing with Shiraz and Pacheco is they might fight each other similarly. Like you go, no,
Yeah.
you go, no, you go. Like Shiraz just needed Berlanga to go, and he went and he caught him. Like, and Berlanga's super chinny. We don't even know if Pacheco's chinny.
Because he
Shiraz has
hasn't
been
been tested like that. He
Shir-
hasn't been tested like
right.
that. And that's why Foxy says, uh, right over here, if I click it properly, he says, Pacheco needs more rounds for me. I think the sample size is kind of small, but I will say this: Pacheco is very patient
Too
when he
patient.
fights. And I think at times he needs to up his work rate a little bit, but he does land accurate shots when he throws them. But he is patient. So there's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing about that because he is setting up that big shot. So he does a lot of things well, but I'm not mad at Foxy for saying we need to see a bigger sample size. It wasn't the greatest performance from him, but he won every round, right? So that
24 also. He's
very
still
young.
young. He could learn all those things. Next time we see him, he'll still be 24 because he just turned 24 2 months ago. But like, yeah, I don't come away from this fight thinking he's trash because a lot of people are going to do that, and I'm like, no,
Nah,
he's
come
just
on.
overly patient. I still think he's really good. I'm not positive. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Shiraz will beat him and Bealey will beat him and all these. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's the case. Shiraz has been dropped before. We also saw the Adames fight. Like, I don't know. I'm not out on Diego Pacheco. I just think it was an underwhelming performance, especially when compared to his peers. But it might not mean shit because if Mbili and Shiraz fight each other later this year, like it's rumored, then one of those guys is going to lose anyway, most
Yeah.
likely, unless it's a draw. And elsewhere in the weight class, like this weight class is interesting. We'll see where Diego Pacheco factors in from a ranking standpoint, though. He's number
He's
3
number one ranked by the what? Is it WBO?
WBO, 3 in
Yeah.
WBC. You still got Lester Martinez here, who's interesting. Jamal Charlo. I'd be forgetting about him because
Yeah. Not very
activity.
active.
Osei Iglesias, who I think is like he's the one that I think is the boogeyman, so to speak, in this division, but he has to also prove it in his next fight, which is going to be against right here, Vladimir Shishkin. I think it's going to be to determine who's the number one contender for the IBF title.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what the title picture is going to look like because Canelo has all the belts, and maybe Crawford will have all the belts. Are they going to run it back and hold up the division? Like, we don't know. So
Well, drop your comments. Let us know if you were underwhelmed by Diego Pacheco's performance and who you think he should fight next. I'll say this before we move on to the next subject. The WBO has the most exciting rankings, I think. Diego Pacheco, Edgar Berlanga, and Jaime Munguia, 3 guys that I feel like have something to prove.
they have to update it though. I don't think that's
Yes.
updated yet because
Yes.
I think with Shiraz may actually move into like the number 2 spot because
Yeah.
Berlanga got destroyed.
Well, I think they might move up Shiraz to all the way to number 1
I
and maybe
wouldn't do
move.
that.
I wouldn't do it either. But it's like, I don't know. Like the amount of hype on Shiraz right now is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Is absolutely ridiculous. When it's like I'm still learning. Like I don't know if we know everything about him. But hey, that's me. Drop your comments. We got to get on to one of the most exciting fights of tonight. I think it was a stunner. As in, I think a lot of people were surprised with the outcome. I'll say this though, Brian, Oleksandr Usyk might be not only the one of the greatest fighters of this generation, but greatest athletes of this generation. What he did to Daniel Dubois, dropped him twice in the 5th round. Boom. It was a wrap. Oleksandr Usyk did not win by decision. He won by TKO. Like I was not expecting that at all. I thought if Usyk won, it was going to be on the cards. It would go to the cards and he would win. It just surprised me. He continues to dominate. He continues to be the best heavyweight of this generation time and time again. He's undefeated, cleaned out the cruiserweight division. This was one of the best performances of his career against a young Daniel Dubois with great power, coming off a ridiculous win against an Anthony Joshua, who I believe has one of the best resumes in boxing, even with the L's. Man, I'm sitting here and I'm like, we're watching greatness with Oleksandr Usyk. This is like amazing what we just seen. It's unreal, Brian.
KO, by the way. Like Daniel Dubois didn't get up.
That's true.
He didn't even answer he didn't even get to the 10 count. This is the best pound for pound fighter, and it's no debate. Like, we're gonna pull up the resume in a second because I'm just looking at it. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
has to be number one.
Ridiculous. He's the best heavyweight of my lifetime. So it's for context, best heavyweight of my lifetime means from the mid 90s on. Although I didn't know what the fuck was going on in boxing until like probably the late 90s, when I was watching Felix Trinidad, when I was watching Roy Jones Jr. and the peak versions of themselves, Oscar De La Hoya, so on and so forth. So the guys that I really saw, because I call it like the tail end of Lennox Lewis, would be both Klitschko's, which means I saw them both lose. So other piece of it. Both Klitschko's, Tyson Fury, the entire experience, basically. Anthony Joshua, the entire thing. What other heavyweights are even in this class from like, say, 2000 on? Like, I'm almost at Chris Bird, Deontay Wilder territory. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the ones that, if we're going by your age gap, then for sure Lennox Lewis. You saw Lennox Lewis for sure.
Yeah.
You saw all of AJ. You saw all of Deontay Wilder and his come up.
Yes.
Tyson Fury. I'd say that would be it.
And the two Klitschko's.
Yeah, and obviously Klitschko. For me, it's like I add Mike Tyson in there because I fell in love with boxing because of Mike Tyson. So
I didn't see the best version of him. Well, I did later on in life. I'm talking about like in the moment. Did not, but like prime Mike Tyson versus Oleksandr Usyk. I mean,
I think. Well, here's
sure
the thing.
Mike Tyson wins that fight because I'm not. But we don't have to do this.
No, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. Because they're two different fighters from two different generations. It's kind of like what people are talking about right now. This is what they're saying on X, okay? They're saying, man,
Twitter.
People don't want to talk about Muhammad Ali and Usyk possibly being the greatest of all time now. Like personally, I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time. In any sport. I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest because I think there's some similarities I will say with him and Usyk, because not only was Muhammad Ali the greatest heavyweight of all time, but all the stuff he was dealing with socially. To me, that's what made Muhammad Ali the best. Oleksandr Usyk is in a very interesting time where when it comes to all the social stuff, what is Foxy saying? Hold on. Foxy said, shock Shantelle hating on another Brit. Leave Shiraz alone.
No. I was laughing at him saying I saw all of Audley Harrison, which is true. We saw all of that. Shannon Briggs, we saw some of that. Evander Holyfield at the tail end. Also,
By the way, when you're talking and you're on a monologue, I'm gonna just laugh and put a comment on the screen.
you should.
Let me
The
get
Audley Harrison shit was funny. But
I
anyway,
could have waited. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say that Oleksandr Usyk and everything that's happening with the Ukraine, very important time for him and his country as well. Right. And remember, he took time away from boxing as well to support his country. There's some nuances there, but I will say that Oleksandr is probably one of the greatest of this generation. I don't think I've seen anyone greater than him in terms of heavyweight. I think he's the best that I've seen. And my favorite's Mike Tyson. So for me, Mike's my favorite heavyweight, other than Muhammad Ali.
And I mean,
and then I'd probably put Usyk.
Muhammad Ali is also, as we say, or as I say, all the things. He also lost to Joe Frazier in his prime. Oleksandr Usyk hasn't lost in his prime, so there's that.
Yeah, well. but here's the thing. It was Joe Frazier.
Okay, I know.
It was Joe Frazier. Meanwhile, like the level of, and this is what people are talking about as well. This is the knock on Clarissa Shields. They're saying that he didn't fight like the greatest heavyweights of all time. You can only fight.
Who's
Usyk.
He in this context?
Usyk. Like I'm not agreeing with this, but people don't like the heavyweights now. Like they're not too hype on the heavyweights now that they were then. And this is all on like my comments because I was like, yo, he might be the greatest. He might be the greatest. And people are like, well, I think other guys had better competition.
What the fuck is he gonna do about that?
Nothing. It's not his fault.
Okay. Oh, like I understand Bill Russell only had to play against Wilt Chamberlain, but like
you can only play who you can play against.
You know what I mean? Like they were born when they were born. Their parents fucked when they fucked. It is what it is. Like that's it. Yeah. I think with and also Joe Frazier's 215 pounds, so I think Oleksandr Usyk, size wise, like there's an argument there. But anyway, I think look to end the historical piece of this because I'm not going to
rabbit hole. Yeah,
I'm not going to compare dudes today. We're just having fun. I'm not going to compare these dudes to dudes from the 80s. But Oleksandr Usyk is the best of this generation. That's what it is. I'm not saying pound for pound best, although you can make that argument.
I think you can make that argument that he is, dude.
He might be, but he at the very least at the heavyweight division. We'll pull up the resume. He is the guy, and he came up from the cruiserweight division. Like that's the other piece of this.
And cleaned out the cruiserweight division. And what were they saying when he came out of the cruiserweight division? That he was too small for the heavyweight division. And then he went on to beat every top heavyweight in the division.
Look at this. First of all, I know he had a lot of amateur experience, but your first pro fight, you're fighting a dude who's 16-7. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, not as crazy as Vasily Lomachenko because like 2 fights in, he's fighting for a world title and he probably should have won that fight. But like he immediately, less than 10 fights into his career, he's beating one of the best cruiserweights in the world, Krzysztof Glowacki, and he beats him by unanimous decision very easily. In his home country, by the way, in Poland. Moving on, like he just cleans out this division. He fought in the Super Series, if I'm not mistaken, and won won all the titles. If you just go like Michael Hunter, a young undefeated version of him. By the way, Michael Hunter is supposed to fight Kubrat Pulev for the WBA regular heavyweight championship sometime soon. Don King Promotions, everybody. Okay, Marco Huck, Marius Briedis, Tony Bellew, and then he moves up to heavyweight. Derek Chisora, who he said he'd be willing to fight again. This was honestly actually one of his toughest fights. Still is like one of Usyk's like 3 toughest fights of his career was a Derek Chisora fight, which is interesting. I don't want to see that again, but I wouldn't be mad at it because all of Derek Chisora's fights are entertaining, except for the one he had against Tyson Fury, the last one. The 2 Joshua fights, Daniel Dubois, who at the time only had 1 loss, the Joe Joyce loss, beat Tyson Fury twice, was the underdog of the first fight. He might have been underdog for both, but he was definitely the underdog for the first fight and beat him convincingly in especially the second fight. But I feel like in the first fight, like it was really close, but he did get that knockdown, which helped. And then he beats Daniel Dubois, who was fucking red hot going into this fight. Now, stylistically, Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, Anthony Joshua, an Anthony Joshua who doesn't give a shit about defense. like like not Oleksandr Usyk, but Oleksandr Usyk, like he's that dude. Like he's cleaned out the top heavyweights, and it's like, who's the heavyweight you want to see him fight next? Because here's the thing: if you're looking at the rankings, we're going back here. There's one dude I want to see him fight before anybody else, and it's Joseph Parker. But I can't even be like, yo, selling you on why Joseph Parker's going to win this fight. But he's the most deserving. Fabio Wardley, Ajit Caballero, no one's beating Usyk. And he could retire now, and he's like instant Hall of Famer. He might be in GOAT conversations for some people because even though he's only 24-0, his resume is insane.
Yeah, I think he's in the GOAT conversation. I don't think anybody beats him in the heavyweight division. He did say that he was going to take some time off and spend it with his family. Remember, he's sneakily older, right?
38.
Usyk isn't young, so he could ride off into the sunset right now if he wanted to. I don't think he has anything to prove. I think he's the greatest heavyweight of this division, and he's proved that. Beat Tyson Fury twice, beat Anthony Joshua twice, and those were kind of the guys in the conversation because like Deontay Wilder wasn't Deontay Wilder anymore. So this is, he did mention Joseph Parker, definitely one of the most deserving guys. Other than that, like, I don't think Usyk Usyk can do what he wants to do. But I really, really do think at this point, I think there's a conversation that can be had that he is the greatest of this generation. Like among everybody, I think you can look at his resume and say that he is. And of course, who else is in that conversation? Canelo is in that conversation. Bud is in that conversation. Inoue is in that conversation. I'll tell you this much. I think Usyk is number one for me over Canelo of being the greatest of this generation in terms of boxers that we've seen. Because Usyk has fought the best guys in his division.
I don't even think Canelo is the main competition for that. To be honest,
is it Inoue and is it Inoue?
Maybe.
I think it might. I mean, is it? Bud?
It could be the Bud Canelo winner.
I throw Canelo in there because he's been the face of boxing.
Mayweather also, right? Like,
well, okay, so yeah, I think you can put Mayweather in there, but I
think we have to, not could. Yeah. I think it has to. Like, you can get to this being Mayweather versus Usyk versus like Andre Ward.
If we're doing decade though, like I would say Usyk.
Do you want to do this century? We've had 25 years.
That's true.
You could do. It's probably Mayweather, Usyk. No order. Mayweather, Usyk, Inoue. Andre Ward, I think, legitimately has the top 5 Ks.
People would be pissed if we put Andre Ward in there. Not me. He's one of my favorite boxers, but people would be pissed. I think.
He has a real resume, though.
He's undefeated too, guys. Undefeated. Went out on his own terms. Yeah, I think there's a conversation to be had there. And here's the thing: I don't know if I'm all about the O's though. Like, I don't think you're not great just because you have an O. You know what I mean? If you got an L on your record, whatever. Like, the greatest boxers that I love have some L's on their records. But yeah, I think Mayweather would for sure. I think Usyk's in the conversation in a way. Like, there would have to be like a top 5 that we would have to do.
Is Bivol in there? Question mark.
Yeah.
He beat Canelo and he beat Beterbiev. Like,
he did. And his only loss is Beterbiev, right?
And Zerto, yeah. And I thought that loss was bullshit. I thought he won that fight.
Yeah, but that's not what it says on the score.
I know, whatever. I mean, Canelo obviously is in this conversation too. He has more losses than these guys were talking about. And some people would say he lost to Lara, he lost to Triple G, maybe twice. You know what I mean? Like, there is some of that. He got favorable judging in other fights, but Canelo's in this conversation as well, even though like people want to sideswipe at him. Here's something fun. Can I show you this? This is BoxRec's all-time heavyweight list. Now, BoxRec, again, they don't rank traditionally. They do it. It's data heavy. It's too data heavy. They just put their shit into a system and it does what it does. We won't go through this entire thing, but they have Usyk 17 in heavyweights according to their database all time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's factoring in cruiserweights, if his run as a cruiserweight and that counting specifically for the cruiserweight division, it might be, but this is what it is. So he's 17 after all these people. Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Gene Tunney, Ezra Charles, Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis 5th. That's very interesting.
By the way, I just want to say that Lennox Lewis is also kind of Canadian. You didn't know that he grew
No, I know
Canada.
that, but I didn't know that's where you were going with.
I'm just saying, okay, like put a Canadian, like we claiming you grew up here. Even the Brits say, like, listen, a lot of Brits in Foxy, you can co-sign this, but a lot of Brits even said that like he was more Canadian, but y'all only really were like, yo, he's ours because it was Lennox Lewis. You know what I mean?
He represented the UK in the Olympics and such.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, a lot of people though, and this is not only for boxing, but also for soccer and other places, like a lot of Canadians were not representing Canada for purposes, right? They weren't representing their own country, but now we've come in a powerhouse over here. People want to rep our country. So Lennox Lewis, just saying, he might be a Canadian. Anyways, go on with the list.
Wait.
Because they got my boy Sam Langford over there. Is that what I'm seeing? Yes. We in here. We got Lennox Lewis change the flag, right? Top 5. And then we got Sam Langford at number 13. We in here.
So Floyd Patterson to finish for the people who will listen to the audio version is Floyd Patterson. Because we just mentioned Floyd Mayweather.
Rocky Marciano, that's great.
The original Pretty Boy Floyd Patterson, Rocky Marciano, who a lot of people think is overrated, Vladimir Klitschko, Jack Dempsey, Evander Holyfield, Larry Holmes, Vitaly Klitschko, Sam Langford, Jersey Joe Walcott, as for the OGs, Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Oleksandr Usyk. And to round out the top 20, because why not? Billy Misk, George Foreman, Young Stribling.
Okay, I'm not even mad at any of that.
I was wondering where Max Schmeling and Mike Tyson were. Max Schmeling 22, Mike Tyson 24. Anthony Josh was 25.
Because the resume, Brian, the resume is good. Foxy, by the way, stop it. You can't claim our Brit. Y'all need to go and actually do some research on Lennox Lewis because we were claiming him for a long time.
Again, this isn't an exact, this is just BoxRec's data-driven ranking or whatever. But in actuality, I do think Usyk, someone said he should be higher. I think you can put him in the top 10, maybe at this point. He probably should be higher. I know it sounds prisoner at the moment, but I mean, shit. Out of curiosity, since we're here, because you mentioned Lennox Lewis growing up in Canada.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You can't have a Canadian accent and say he's a Brit.
Here's your Canadian here's your Canadian
where's my guy Arthur Better BM? He's ours now.
Third.
Okay.
Jimmy McLaren, Sam Langford are the top 2 Canadian boxers of all time, although
where's Arturo Gatti?
10.
Okay. So for me,
really?
he's my most memorable Canadian. Growing up for me, he was a big deal.
Adonis Stevenson 9. I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like Gotti should be above him. No, am I being disrespectful?
But I feel like they both should be higher.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And John Pascal should be higher. He's 17, although he did some roids allegedly. I don't know if that's alleged. And just real quick, just for me, because we're here, why not? Let's go to Puerto Rico.
Okay, I thought you were gonna be like, let's go to America.
No. America don't need anything. They don't need anything else. Carlos.
Okay, they got Felix number 2.
Felix should have had number 2. That's interesting. I'm like
Wilfred.
Carlos Ortiz is great though. Wilfred Benitez, Miguel Cotto, Hector Camacho. This is actually a pretty reasonable top 5.
Yeah.
Wilfredo Gomez, I would argue, should probably be in there, but I mean, this is not crazy. Pedro Montañez, Edwin Rosario, John Molina, Jose Torres. Jose Torres is nasty. Go look at his. You want to see some great head movement defense? Go watch some Jose Torres. I know it's from the 60s, but still one of the better light heavyweights probably ever. Subriel Matias is 13.
Wow.
Okay, that's a little much. I don't know about all that.
I mean, he's been a champ though.
Jose Pedraza was 23. Jeez.
By the way, guys, I was a big Jose Pedraza fan. Still am.
That was fun.
Anyways,
I saw Kermit Cintron there too. Wow. Throwback.
That was a good time. Anyways, I think Oleksandr Usyk is, and Brian agrees, one of the greatest fighters of this generation. And when we talk about the last decade, for sure. And I think there's also a conversation that could be had, because I don't think boxing actually gets enough notice. Like when they make these big lists, they always leave out boxers. And I think Oleksandr Usyk and even Inoue could be some of the greatest athletes of this generation.
And Crawford,
Yes.
and Canelo, and Bivol. I think, and Clarissa Shields, and Amanda Serrano, and Katie Taylor, Sinisa Estrada, who retired undefeated. Like, we can do this with a lot of boxers. It's the fucking,
and they don't get credit for it, because
one of the
I don't
hardest
think
sports there is.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, they deserve their credit, and they never really get mentioned on lists like in the top 5. But it's like they're dominating.
Yeah, like why can't we mention Oleksandr Usyk in the same breath as Simone Biles?
We
like,
should.
Why can't I do that? Like, why can't I throw out, like, if you, because people would do this with Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao only, really. Like, you would see Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, Floyd, maybe not Simone Biles at that time, but maybe Gabby Douglas. But like, you would see Floyd Mayweather on those lists.
Serena Williams is a great one.
Serena Williams, great. Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Like, why can't Oleksandr Usyk be, like, right now, if you're talking about best athletes in the world, Oleksandr Usyk has to be in that conversation, as is Inoue, as is some of the other fighters we're mentioning, with like Nikola Jokic, with Connor McDavid, with, you know, Patrick Mahomes. Like, this is what should be happening.
Or, you know, like, he's not the best hockey player right now, but like Alex Ovechkin.
I was thinking, like, I thought of him too, but I was like, Connor's better right now. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I will just say that Alex Ovechkin, I've always been a bigger Obi fan. So I will say I'm not a Connor fan at all.
Didn't know
yeah. Well, I'm like a huge. Okay, come on.
He plays for Edmonton.
Why would I root for the guy? Come on here, okay? So I will say, but he's really, really good. I will say that. I've always been a big Ovi fan, but it's like, I think you could place Usyk on those lists. That's how great he is. And it's unfortunate that someone like him doesn't get mentioned as much as like a Canelo, which is kind of wild. Like, if you're a casual boxing fan, right? Because if you mention Oleksandr Usyk's name and you only watch like big, massive fights, it's so disrespectful, because I think he's great for the sport and he's so funny and he's just a nice dude. And so for Usyk, like, you just want him to win, and I'm really happy for him. And whatever he ends up doing, like, I think he cemented himself in legacy even before this fight. I think when he beat Fury twice, and remember, like, Fury at one point was regarded as one of the best heavyweights, if not the best heavyweight. Like, there was a conversation to be had about that. And Oleksandr beat him twice. So he's proven that he's one of the best. Brian, we've been here for almost an hour and a half. You got any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
So to recap, we both had Barrios winning 7-5, but we both don't think he got robbed. And we both don't think it's crazy that Manny Pacquiao, you know, like, he could have won that fight. He, like, absolutely, like, and if he won 7-5, I'd be like, I get it, even though he got outlanded, but like, he stole a lot of rounds. And he turned back the clock in some moments, and Mario Barrios should probably be embarrassed a little bit.
I don't know, but I want to know where he got that Spurs two-tone hat. I'm looking for it right now. Go on.
Do the rematch also. We're both pro rematch. Bam is amazing. We'll see what happens against Fernando Martinez. Great week for the Bams, because you got Bam Rodriguez out here defending his title. You got Bam Adebayo just out here with Asia Wilson. You know what I mean? Courtside at the WNBA All-Star game. We also have Oleksandr Usyk just being awesome, and Diego Pacheco, we expected a little bit more, and Tszyu might be cooked, and Sebastian Fundora he's gotten better, but still TBD. So that leaves me with one final question.
I'm gonna like tweet at Mario Barrios and be like, "Yo, where you got that hat from?" Because I'm looking right now and I can't find it.
Final question, then we'll get out of here. Also, we got an O Canada in the chat from Jake Titan.
Oh, thanks.
Jake 24 Titan. We appreciate that. Hello Canada, as Tony Kornheiser always says. Bam Rodriguez or Bam Adebayo?
Bam Rodriguez. What is it? You think this is a basketball show? Get out of here. Good night, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us.